Every moment of your life you are making decisions. Some are small, almost automatic, what to wear, what to eat, which route to take to work. But there are a few decisions, the rare and powerful ones, that shape everything that comes after them. These are the moments when you stand at a crossroads, faced with a choice that will determine your future. The right decision, made with absolute commitment, has the power to change your life forever. Most people don't realize just how much power they have over their own destiny. They think life is happening to them, that they are reacting to circumstances beyond their control. But the truth is, your life is the direct result of the decisions you have made, consciously or unconsciously. Every success, every failure, every struggle, every breakthrough, it all traces back to a decision. And if you want to create a new reality, you must first decide that you are no longer willing to accept the one you have. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions. They made a decision, one defining moment where they said, enough. I will not live like this anymore. I will change. I will grow. I will make this happen. That one decision became the catalyst for everything that followed. Because when you truly decide, when you commit with every fiber of your being, you eliminate any other possibility. But most people never make real decisions. They say they want to change, they say they want success, but they leave themselves room to back out. They hope things will get better. They try to improve, but trying is not deciding. Hoping is not committing. A true decision means cutting off any other possibility. It means saying, this is happening no matter what, no excuses, no turning back. And when you reach that level of certainty, everything changes. One of the greatest challenges in life is overcoming hesitation. The longer you hesitate, the more you allow fear, doubt, and uncertainty to creep in. You start questioning yourself. You start thinking of reasons why it won't work. But when you make a decision with absolute clarity, hesitation disappears. You stop waiting for permission. You stop overanalyzing. You just move. And when you move with certainty, doors open, opportunities appear, and life begins to align with your vision. Some people wait their entire lives for the right moment to make a change. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until the fear goes away. But the truth is, the right moment never comes. You will never feel fully ready. You will always have doubts. There will always be risk. And that's why most people stay stuck. They are waiting for conditions that will never be perfect. But those who succeed, those who transform their lives, they don't wait. They decide and they move forward despite the fear. Every major breakthrough in life starts with one decision. The decision to take control of your health, the decision to end a toxic relationship, the decision to start a business, the decision to step up and claim the life you deserve. And the beautiful thing about decisions is that they are available to you at any moment. Right now, you have the power to decide. Right now, you can choose to change everything. But a decision is only as strong as the action that follows it. Too many people decide something in a moment of inspiration, only to let it fade away because they don't back it up with action. They get excited, they feel motivated, but then they do nothing. And without action, a decision is meaningless. The key is to move immediately. The moment you decide, take the first step. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Because once you take action, you create momentum. And momentum is what turns a decision into a transformation. Look at your own life. Look at the areas where you have been stuck, where you have been waiting, where you have been hesitating. Ask yourself, what decision am I avoiding? What choice, if I made it today, could change everything? The answer is already within you. Deep down, you already know what you need to do. The only thing left is to decide, to commit so fully that there is no way back. When you reach that level of decision, the world responds to you differently. You start attracting opportunities. You start seeing possibilities where before you only saw obstacles. You start acting like the person you are meant to be instead of the person you've been conditioned to be. And the best part is, once you make one powerful decision, it becomes easier to make others. You build confidence. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You are always one decision away from a completely different life. And the only thing standing between you and that life is the willingness to decide right now that you will no longer accept anything less than what you are truly capable of. The choice is yours. The power is yours. Decide, act, and step into the life you were meant to live. Most people never truly commit. They say they want change. They talk about their dreams. They make plans. But when it comes down to actually taking action, they hesitate. They leave themselves an escape route, a way to back out when things get tough. And that's exactly why they never break through. Because real transformation doesn't happen until you go all in, until you remove every excuse, until you burn the boats and give yourself no option but to succeed. Think about any moment in history where someone achieved something extraordinary. It wasn't because they had perfect conditions or unlimited resources. It was because they made a decision so powerful that there was no going back. They didn't say, I'll try. They didn't say, I hope this works. They said, this is happening no matter what. That level of commitment changes everything. When you have no other option but to make it work, you become resourceful. You stop looking for excuses and start finding solutions. You stop hesitating and start creating momentum. Most people fail not because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity, but because they leave themselves too many ways out. They start a diet but allow cheat days that turn into cheat weeks. They start a business but say, if this doesn't work, I'll go back to my job. They commit to personal growth but only when it's convenient. And that's why they never reach their potential, because they never go all in. The moment you give yourself a backup plan, you've already lost. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to burn the boats. You have to remove every excuse, every safety net, and force yourself to move forward with no way back. Fear is the biggest reason people hold on to their safety nets. They are afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, afraid of making the wrong choice. But what they don't realize is that their fear of failure is keeping them trapped in a cycle of inaction. They think they are playing it safe, but in reality, they are guaranteeing their own mediocrity. Growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Success is only possible when you are willing to take risks, to face uncertainty, to commit so deeply that failure is not an option. The greatest breakthroughs in life come when you put yourself in a position where you must rise to the occasion. When you have no way back, your mind shifts. You stop wasting energy on self-doubt and start using all your focus on finding a way forward. You tap into levels of strength and creativity that you never knew existed. That's when you discover what you are truly capable of. If you look at the most successful people in the world, you'll notice a pattern. They weren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented, but they were the most committed. They didn't give themselves a way out. They didn't allow failure to be an option. They made a decision and backed it up with massive action. They knew that hesitation kills dreams, so they removed hesitation completely. Imagine if you approached your goals with that same level of intensity. Imagine if you decided right now that you are going all in, no more excuses, no more waiting, no more I'll do it tomorrow. What would change? How much further could you go if quitting was never on the table? The moment you make that shift, everything transforms. Your energy changes, your confidence grows, your results start multiplying, because now you are playing full out. You are fully committed, and when you operate from that level of certainty, nothing can stop you. One of the most powerful examples of this mindset comes from history. When ancient warriors would arrive on enemy shores, their leaders would burn the boats they arrived in. Why? Because with no way to retreat, the only option was to move forward and win. There was no room for doubt, no space for second guessing. It was victory or nothing. And that's the mentality you need if you truly want to change your life. You must eliminate every escape route that allows you to go back to the old version of yourself. You must remove every excuse that keeps you from going all in. Burning the boats doesn't mean being reckless. It means making a firm, unwavering commitment to your vision. It means deciding that no matter how hard it gets, no matter what obstacles arise, you will push through. It means trusting yourself enough to know that you will find a way. Most people never achieve their dreams because they are only halfway in. They are interested in success, but they are not committed to it. They want change, but they don't want to risk anything. And that's why they stay stuck, because transformation only happens when you give it everything. Think about the areas in your life where you have been holding back. Where have you left yourself an easy way out? Where have you hesitated instead of committing fully? The truth is, if you want real change, you have to go all in. You have to remove the option of failure, of giving up, of going back. That's when you will find the strength, the drive, and the determination to create the life you were meant to live. Success is not about luck. It's not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about making a decision and backing it up with relentless action. It's about burning the boats so that the only way forward is through. And when you do that, when you fully commit with everything you have, you will discover that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your decisions. But what most people don't realize is that the quality of your decisions is determined by your state, your physical, mental, and emotional state at any given moment. Have you ever noticed how when you're feeling tired, overwhelmed, or anxious, you make different choices than when you're feeling strong, confident, and focused? That's because your state controls your decisions, and your decisions shape your destiny. Think about a time when you made a decision you later regretted. Maybe you lashed out at someone in anger, quit something too soon, or avoided an opportunity because you were feeling fearful. If you look back, you'll realize that it wasn't the situation itself that dictated your response. It was your state in that moment. On the other hand, think about a time when you were feeling powerful, energized, and certain. In that state, you probably took bold action, overcame challenges, and made choices that moved you forward. That's the difference. The same person, the same life, but two completely different outcomes depending on the state you were in when making the decision. Most people think their emotions just happen to them. They believe that if they wake up feeling tired or unmotivated, that's just how the day is going to be. They think their fear, doubt, or anxiety is something they have to wait to pass, but that's not true. You are not at the mercy of your emotions. You are in control of them. And the fastest way to shift your emotions is to change your physiology. If you look at the world's most successful people, you'll notice that they have mastered this. They don't wait to feel inspired before they take action. They create inspiration. They don't wait to feel motivated before they move forward. They generate motivation. They know that if they control their state, they control their actions, and if they control their actions, they control their results. The easiest way to shift your state instantly is through movement. Your body and mind are connected, and how you use your body affects how you feel. If you are slouched over, breathing shallowly, and speaking in a low, uncertain tone, you are going to feel weak. But if you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with energy, you instantly change your emotional state. This isn't just motivation, it's science. Studies have shown that even something as simple as changing your posture can increase confidence and lower stress. That's why top athletes, world-class performers, and successful entrepreneurs all have rituals that put them in peak state before they take action. Breathing is another powerful tool to shift your state. Most people don't think about how they breathe, but your breath controls your energy. When you are stressed or fearful, your breath becomes shallow and rapid, which triggers even more anxiety. But when you take slow, deep breaths, you send a signal to your brain that you are calm, confident, and in control. That's why techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and even something as simple as taking a few powerful breaths before an important decision can change everything. But your state isn't just about your body, it's also about your focus. What you focus on, you feel. If you focus on what's wrong, what could go wrong, or what has gone wrong in the past, you will feel stuck, frustrated, and afraid. But if you focus on solutions, possibilities, and what you can do right now, you will feel empowered. Successful people train their minds to focus on what they want, not on what they fear. They ask themselves empowering questions like, what's the best way to move forward? Instead of disempowering questions like, why does this always happen to me? Language also plays a huge role in your state. The words you use shape your emotions. If you constantly say, I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm stuck, you will feel that way. But if you change your language, if you say, I'm recharging, I'm figuring this out, or I'm getting stronger, you shift how you feel instantly. The words you attach to your experiences become your reality. This is why daily rituals are so important. You can't leave your state up to chance. You need habits that put you in a peak state every single day, whether it's exercise, affirmations, visualization, or simply taking a few minutes each morning to breathe deeply and set your intentions. These small practices make a huge difference, because when you consistently train your body and mind to be in a powerful state, making bold decisions becomes your default. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about choosing how you respond. Life will always throw obstacles your way, but the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not their circumstances, it's their state. Two people can go through the same difficult situation, and one will rise while the other will crumble. The only difference is how they manage their emotions, their focus, and their energy. Imagine if you mastered this. Imagine if instead of being controlled by your emotions, you controlled them. Instead of waking up feeling uncertain, you conditioned yourself to feel powerful. Instead of letting fear dictate your choices, you stepped into confidence every single day. What would change in your life? How much more action would you take? How many more opportunities would you seize? The truth is, success is not just about strategy, it's about psychology. You can have all the knowledge and skills in the world, but if your state is weak, your decisions will be weak. But when you learn to master your state, when you condition yourself to operate at a high level every day, there is nothing you can't achieve, because when you are in a peak state, you make powerful decisions, and powerful decisions are what create an extraordinary life. Your life is a reflection of your standards. What you accept, what you tolerate, and what you demand from yourself shapes your reality. If you want to change your life, you must raise your standards. You must decide that you will no longer settle for anything less than the best from yourself. Because the truth is, we don't get what we wish for, we get what we must have. Think about it. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants happiness, financial freedom, great relationships, and a strong, healthy body. But very few people actually achieve those things. Why? It's not because they lack the ability or the intelligence. It's because, for most people, those desires are just preferences, not absolute musts. They say they want to be fit, but they are willing to skip workouts and eat unhealthy food. They say they want to be successful, but they allow themselves to procrastinate, make excuses, and stay comfortable. They say they want a great relationship, but they tolerate toxic behaviors and settle for less than they deserve. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people have higher standards. They demand more from themselves. They refuse to accept mediocrity in any area of their life. They don't just try to be disciplined, they are disciplined. They don't just hope things will change, they make them change. They have a line that they will not cross, a level of commitment that is non-negotiable. Look at the areas in your life where you are not where you want to be. Maybe it's your finances, your career, your health, or your relationship. Now ask yourself, what are the standards you have been accepting in that area? Have you been tolerating things that are below what you truly deserve? Have you been making excuses for why you're not further along? The reality is, the moment you decide to raise your standards, everything shifts. When something is no longer acceptable to you, you change it. When you refuse to tolerate excuses from yourself, you take action. When you hold yourself to a higher level, your results follow. Most people stay stuck because they believe their current reality is permanent. They think they are just the way they are, that their struggles are inevitable, that success is only for the lucky few. But that's not true. Your life right now is simply a reflection of the standards you have been living by. And the good news is you can change your standards at any moment. Think about a time in your life when you made a real change. Maybe you used to accept certain behaviors, but then one day you decided enough is enough. Maybe you used to tolerate a certain level of income, but then you decided you wouldn't live that way anymore. Maybe you used to let fear stop you, but then you raised your standards and took action. That's the power of making a firm decision. When you truly commit to a new standard, you find a way to make it happen. One of the best ways to raise your standards is to change the people you surround yourself with. The people in your life influence you more than you realize. If you spend time with people who complain, make excuses, and accept mediocrity, you will naturally lower your own standards to match theirs. But if you surround yourself with people who push themselves, who expect greatness from themselves, who refuse to settle, you will rise to their level. That's why successful people always seek out mentors, coaches, and high-achieving peers, because being around high standards forces you to elevate your own. But raising your standards isn't just about external influences, it's about your internal commitments. It's about what you demand from yourself when no one is watching. It's about the small daily decisions you make, whether you wake up early or hit snooze, whether you follow through or make excuses, whether you push yourself or stay comfortable. It's easy to say you want more, it's easy to talk about change, but real transformation happens when you hold yourself to a new level, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's hard, even when no one else is pushing you. That's when you develop true discipline, true resilience, and true power. Raising your standards doesn't mean being perfect, doesn't mean never failing or making mistakes. It means committing to a higher level of action, effort, and focus than you ever have before. It means refusing to accept the excuses that have held you back in the past. It means deciding that you will no longer be the person who tries to succeed, you will be the person who does. When you shift your standards, everything in your life will change. You will start showing up differently. You will take different actions. You will attract new opportunities. You will start to see yourself in a new way as someone who doesn't settle, who doesn't quit, who doesn't make excuses. Most people think success is about luck, talent, or intelligence, but in reality, success is simply a reflection of what you demand from yourself. The moment you decide that you will no longer accept anything less than your best, you step into a new level of power. You stop wishing, hoping, and waiting, and you start doing. And that's when you begin to create the life you were meant to live.